Hello and welcome to a new MGS version 5 tutorial. In this one we will be adding sword combat animations to the second character. Now in my case she's Pixie, the sword master. So let's jump right in it. Couple of things that I want to mention before we go any further and before I forget. So I did one for the first. I added an AOE, area of effect, I think that's what it's called, an AOE attack, basically just to help the player pushing away all the enemies while they are doing their attacks. Otherwise they will just be beating to death very quickly. So this is a little thing. If you want to look at it, it's basically taking my team members, including myself, adding them to a local variable, and then add them and add the target actor to this, because I don't want to push the target actor away. I also add the character, which is basically the owner of this component, and then I draw a circle. Let's call it drawing a circle, and taking and duplicating the radius. No, not duplicating the radius, duplicating the damage coming by 10, and that would determine how big this sphere will be, or that circle, the sphere. The reason why I'm doing this, because I would like to have the radius or the area of the effect grows bigger or smaller depending on the actual attack. So if it's just a small punch, the character will just affect, I don't know, like 1 or 2 characters around him. But if it's a massive, round spin or something like that, then it should be affecting a bigger circle. The object type that we are looking for are destructible and pawns, and then all of those that we added to this local variable, we bring them in here and add them to the actors to ignore, which is basically my team and my target and my character. Out of all of those to actors to ignore. This is just for debug, so you can ignore it. But then if they hit any, like inside this circle, if there is any other actors apart from those, if this is true, then we apply a damage. Okay, ignoring those guys. The origin will be coming basically from the character, the origin of this damage. The base damage will be coming also from the character, but I divided by 10 because I don't want to kill everybody with a single hit. I want to affect them with a little damage, but not too much. Feel free to change those values if you like to. And then the damage radius, again, it's the same thing that's coming in this circle. It should be the same. And then add in the damage type. That's it. Prevention, damage prevention set to visibility. I think that's the default actually. I ticked also the do full damage, since it's a small portion, like 1/10 of the actual damage. Just do a full damage. Alright, that's one thing that I added. Also, let's see, what else did I do? I think that's it inside the combat. If I remember correctly, that's all. I added a new condition here, a new bool called takedown. You already saw that I divided taken down and take down, or is taken down. I think that's it. And then for when I do the damage here, just after the animation, I set the is taken down because I want it to be set by the server, and then I move forward, here. So after I do the damage to my target, I also do the area of effect to everybody around that that target. Yeah, that's all the changes that I made inside the combat. But also inside the stats, BBC stats, I did actually quite a bit. So apparently what I did last episode, it was fake working. So it wasn't actually working, it was just faking that it's working. As soon as I tested it a little bit more in depth and so on, it appeared that nope, it wasn't working at all. So I changed a little bit of stuff here. So basically before I did this condition right here, and then based on that condition I would go into death or playing this montage animation, which was down here. But now instead I will do the hit reaction regardless whether I'm whether the target is dead or not. I do the hit reaction, and then when it starts to blend out, you know, like almost at the end of the animation, it checks if it's dead, then it does this blah 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 blah, everything else. But I also added this guy, this little thing. He's inside, so he's more than meets the eye. Basically checking if it's an enemy AI, then don't do anything. But if it was the player or one of my, you know, like my characters basically, so that will fail, the cast will fail, and we will check if he is in a taken down. If he is, then we will delay before going into the death, before going, you know, further. So we will wait until the whole montage, blah blah blah, you know, like whatever montage we are doing, wait for it until it finishes. And this is getting the current position, so it tells me the time, the current time of that animation montage, this one, the active montage, and it will delay that amount, and then it will go out, and then it will check, you know, it will play the death animation, blah blah blah, all of that. Okay, that's in this side. On the other side, what did I do? No, I don't think I did actually. I don't make any changes on this side, if I remember correctly. I don't know if this is from the last episode or between the episodes, but basically I'm checking if it's a player character and that player character is doing a takedown, then don't do anything. Basically because I want my character, yeah, I think that's from the last episode. I want my character to finish his takedown before he gets interrupted. Yep. So that's all the changes that I made so far. If you are following up or following along, then please feel free to pause for the stats and the combat, to make those changes. Okay, now let's go to today's subject. Let's start with the data table. So if we go to my character classes and we select Pixie, we want her to be the Sword Master. So for the startup inventory, add a new item, and that item coming from, don't worry about all of those data tables, they are coming from the assets that I'm importing inside the project for the game. But the one that we need is the DT items, and those are the data tables that you will see in your project. Everything else is basically just coming from other assets. And from the DT items we want the sword, so this way we will give her a sword when we start. Alright, we don't need anything else here. Now let's go to Pixie. We don't need any of that. So if we look in the BPC combat, and we look inside the melees, we have the 12 animation, the 12 attacks, which I call them, you know, like the basics or the base animations, the base attacks for everybody. Everyone can do these 11 ones until 10. The 11th, which is the Fury combo, everybody can do it still, but at the moment it's only the player can do the takedowns. I think that I will make the bosses also be able to do takedowns, so they will be more powerful than the normal vampires or the normal enemies who can only do these basic attacks. So bosses and mini bosses will be able to do takedowns. Okay, so for Pixie, she's the Swordmaster. Let's just take the last one, duplicate it, and let's change it to something different. Actually, let's wait until we pick an animation and then we go back and change the name and all that. So I already imported my animations and I cleaned them and all that. Let's look here. Let's take the first one. I'm not going to take the ones with like several attacks, at least not for now. I will come to those later. So this does this, so this is a powerful attack. What is that? Ah, that's interesting. Okay, I'll take this one to start with, making sure that it's a root motion enabled. Boom. Okay. Alright, so Pixie does a lot of damage, but she's slow, and by slow I mean here in the attack skills I want the interrupt delay to be fairly high, you know. So basically she takes her time to go back into pose, unlike the base animations, you know, as soon as they do damage, soon after I interrupt. But for this, because it's a lot of damage that's going to happen, I'm going to give her a little bit more time to slow down, you know, I mean to go back to the pose. This is basically just something to balance the game style or the gameplay. You do a lot of damage but you are slow. It's an old technique. You do little damage but you are fast, so the player will choose their style of playing. So the damage will happen around here, so let's say 40. The damage is, let's say, 30. That's what I meant by high damage, and it's called pommel, so let's call it just that. I think that's how you pronounce it in English, not sure. And then let's wait until maybe 90 or something like that. So she does the damage and then she wait all this time before you will be able to do another attack. So yeah, let's say 90. Now here comes the most important part. When you add a melee weapon, you really need to change attack type. If you don't change it, then the combat system won't be able to find it. So you need to change this into wherever weapon you have. So I put blade for all sort of swords, whether they are like great sword or whatever, they are all blades. Blunt for mace and stuff like that. Hammer. Knife is also applicable for daggers, for example. A spell, I think I showcased this one in when I was showcasing the spell and magic skills. So for now we will just select the blade, and we can keep this particle animations, particles effects, because this is almost like a punch. Almost, she's hitting with the back of the sword, so almost like a punch. Also the sound, it's not a really sword thing. This is also, yeah, so I'll keep that sound. Okay, so compile and save, and let's give that a try before going any further. I think that's all what we need. Oh, No, actually, I'm going ahead of myself. We didn't change the animations here. So, let's select this guy, create an anim montage, and actually let me create a new folder, call it montages, just easier for me to find those guys. Move it here. So let's do that. And we also want a hit reaction. So head front. Okay, this is a bit too much, but beggars can't be choosers, can they? The only problem that I have with this is actually that pose. It's very obvious that he's holding a sword, and then the after pose. So I will have to trim those parts, but that's fine. So let's do create a montage, and we also move it here. Let's open it up. So what I'm going to do is, instead of starting from 0, I will select it, go to details, and change this to maybe 0.5 or something. Yeah, something around that. So he's not starting from the first, pose. He goes immediately into damage, and then stop it around, yeah, before he goes into that pose. Maybe there. So 1.3. So a little bit less obvious that he's holding a sword. Alright, so select this and add it there. Compile and save. Now we can test it. So without the sword we will do the basic animations or the basic attacks, but with the sword we should be doing just that. Now that we have only one attack that uses the blade, let's make sure that it's actually working with even the hit reaction. Yep. Alright, cool. Let's move on. Now we know that the system is working. Let's duplicate this guy. And let's open up the animations and go here. Let's go to the first one. Yep, a bit powerful. Also, create a montage. Let's see, do we have a knockdown or something like this? Torso right, torso left, right down. I don't think so, but we already have a knockdown, so we will use the same one. Oh, because I'm selected. So this one, he will jump or she will jump, and the here, so around 80. So this is not the pommel, this is jump jump attack for now. You are probably better than me with the naming conventions. I'll add that. And we said 0.8, did we? Yep. And then she goes into combo maybe 150. Yeah, let's say 155. 1.55. and the damage will be 50 for this one. Very powerful, and it's already on blade. That's good. Right, so the particles, I'll remove this and I will come back to it when I have a better particle that is suitable for a sword. But for the sound effects, this is not suitable anymore. So luckily I already have prepared this guy, which is basically again just random bunch of sword sound that is feeded inside the random node and then connected to the output, and they will sound like this. Okay, so I will select this guy and add it here. So compile and save. Let's find the hit reaction for this one, which is somewhere here. Let's write, okay, not here, here, knockdown. But where the montage? Did we add it there? Yep, here we go. Where the other knockdown? Oh, that one. Okay, so it doesn't call knockdown, it's called bound montage, hit bound montage. Okay, let's add it there. Compile and save. Let's give this one a try. So now we have 2 attacks. I think you got the idea, so I don't need to do all the attacks now. Oh, there we go, finally. Oh my god, they won't let me. The other way, hello, this way. I'm noticing that she's doing... You deserve to die because you'll be missing a lot. I think I need to increase the radius of the trace. But I'm also noticing that she sometimes, yeah, she does the same animation twice. So I need to fix that as well. Yeah, you see? Alright, but at least we know that this attack is working. So I will add all of the others for the next episode, but you got the idea now. Just add all your animations, attacks. If it's with the sword, then inside the attack skills you change it to whatever weapon you have, and yeah, attach the associate particle effects, sound effects and whatnot. Alright, so that's it for this episode. I will come back in the next one, hopefully after I fill all of those and had a look at why she is missing a lot. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks a lot, bye bye.